crazy vehicle with terminal main characters in front. What else? Okay, first to clarify, this was about 2 to 3 years ago. Some of the details are kind of fuzzy on this, but the experience was so unsettling. My grandchildren will remember the emotions, the frustration I have felt from that campaign. So grab a good drink, some snacks, and settle down because this is a big one. I wouldn't say this specific individual was that guy, but I am very, very close to saying they were. So we'll call this person Mr. Guy. Mr. Guy was interesting, to say the least. His most notable trait was that he was very obsessed with things like anime that had heavy themes of imperialism and war. That, and with every single OC he has created for D&D, or just in general, had to be the strongest, most powerful, and I have to mentally prepare myself for this one. Edgiest, goddamn characters I have ever witnessed in my entire life. Secret Warlord? Oh, it was a love strong, silent hero, maybe in his eyes, but a lot of his actions in game were questionable, to say the least. One of said actions was during a campaign. I am very sad that I had to end it because of him. But also I'm very sad because we had some newer players joining us, and it was a shame their experience was ruined because of someone who legitimately thought his character was the main protagonist in the story. Not once did he actively try and participate in the party. Mr. Guy did not participate at all. No, no. Not actively try to help other people, other than when he fought things. That's another ball game today. Oh boy, that'll be fun. And would not even listen to anything that he had said. Since we were playing via online, we had to ping him every single time his character was involved in something, or if it was something important that all the players needed to be present. When he was participating, he would constantly interrupt the DM, saying, could you make me sound cooler? Or, I want to have a badass entrance. When our DM did finally give in, and it was his first time to go into his character's background, because at this point we thought it was better to combine the audience. I beg of you, do not comply to me. He, and I kid you not, sent the DM a full ass country that he had inserted into the campaign's canon, which was homebrew mind you. He then threw a fit, and the DM told him that, I'm sorry, this country doesn't match with the rest of the country, and the fact that the rest of the players were deeply uncomfortable with the themes of the country he was basing this on. Take a wild guess what Mr. Guy, the more obsessed being, based this country off of. Imperial Japan. At this point, when the DM didn't let him do exactly what he wanted, the DM did let him make another country that fit more towards the canon, but it caused him to go into a "No, mom and dad won't let me do what I want" mentality. Every single time the rest of the party's characters would focus on, or talking, or anything not having to do with his character, he would literally ignore us. He would leave the heavy RP moments and just hop into battle. What was he doing during the heavy RP moments? Playing video games in the background that we can see and hear. If it didn't involve his character as the main focus, he did not care about the game. Apologies for the interference, but we're currently experiencing so many red flags that this post single-handedly stalled a workers' revolution. No keep like Mr. Guy not to stay forward. But with the little information we have right now, I personally think that's a blessing. Imagine this dude tearing up the roleplay scene like his name's K-Pop. Not to mention the complete disrespect to everyone else to be loudly gaming during the session. If he's so uninterested, why is he there to begin with? But for me, I understand online D&D. It's nearly impossible for many to stay focused, and as a DM myself, I don't blame you guys. Just please, for your DM, try and hide the fact that you're engaging or scrolling or whatever else you're doing while taking a look at it. That is very in myself. Sooner in that time, hearing that picture died infatuation with specifically Imperial War and soldiers, this was what finally made our party snap. Let me set the scene for you. The party is trapped on a monster island that is located on a long, dormant celestial tortoise's back, trying to find a way to wake up the sleeping giant to get back to humanity. We move through a very dark forest, trying to progress when suddenly this happens. DM, as you walk through the forest, you notice that there is movement to the east of you. Not extremely close, but not too far away from you guys either. Me. Can I use my darkness to try and see what is causing this movement? I was playing a little goblin included. I miss playing that here. DM. Yeah, of course, but keep in mind, since this is a supernatural type darkness, you will not be able to see everything. I rolled an 18, and the DM starts to tell us what we were hearing was an owl bear, and what proceeds to happen is horrifying. DM. Through the darkness, you start to see a rather large figure. You start to see that the said figure in the darkness is an owl bear with a giving on his shitty on his sword, and he has the owl bear from Sweden, not showing any emotion as the samurai soldier trained specifically behind the emotion as owl bear me out of character. What? Why would you do that? That's just plain overkill. And it wasn't even showing any signs of hostility. Yeah, Mr. Guy, that is kind of a lot. That's what Hajime would do. Anything he thinks is dangerous, he attacks. It's what he was trained to do. He hasn't learned how to deal with his sword. And the soldier training has. Yeah, it was not going to attack you, but let's hope to see if you actually succeed. You will. A natural battle with ease you take his sword, and before the creature could react, its head is separated from its body. A few moments later, you hear a wheeling noise as a smaller alligator comes out, sniffling under the bush, walks up to the bigger owlbear and lets out a pained noise. Mr. Guy just killed a baby owlbear's mother, unprompted and out of nowhere. I'm sorry. I know this is a bad thing and all, but I find it entirely too funny that an anime-obsessed edgelord, he's standing there, he grips his katana, gives a dumbass from Aladdin speech, and then bandies an owl bear for literally no fucking reason. This guy is someone I would absolutely despise and but leave it to the edgelord to create an experience that is objectively awful. But from the third person, it becomes so bad it's good. Anyway, I think what happens next because one of our players had the ability to speak to animals as a druid. And druids are protectors of all creatures in the home group camp. The first thing they hear, Donna, it's okay if you want to sleep. I'll wait here to protect you. My heart absolutely shattered. And I thought this was the worst thing that Mr. Guy could be capable of. But the fourth time I am, was I wrong? I was so very wrong. A few sessions later, we come across a village of people who were, and keep this in mind, a very peaceful people. We decide to stop there to rest and gather supplies and food for the baby owlbear we adopted from us. Why wouldn't you? Then the rain came. The rest of the group wanted to get the village people out of there because since the Lynx didn't have their attention on us or the village, we could have saved everyone without catching their attention or any casualties. But guess who had a different idea? Instead of laying low like we agreed, the glorious Mr. Guy tries to attack the race. And he then takes his sword and uses it twice to attack the race. Through his sword because his samurai training kicks in. Yada yada yada, same thing as before. But this time, he failed. Critical is facing the party anyway with little time to protect. So this experience I have had with Mr. Y was the deal. You failed your attack. So you should what? No! I wasn't trying to you're literally facing your party in pain. So unless you now lose life and the village, you will not be able to keep a race. It's the time. Not a road stop. I don't care if people get hurt. Let's get this over with. All of this will stop. Like Louis Tunes style, John Block, I'm the single song, stop. Guess what happened? He succeeds on his try again. So guess what happens, Hajime uses his samurai sword to catch the spell again. Succeeds. And now I have to make a series of ways to fly and hardcore parkour out of the way. But since my parents succeeded one line, it would be a miracle if I could follow. And guess what? Five God of miracle happened. Just barely. Oh, so barely. Edith managed to get out of the way. But unfortunately, since it was a local race, Edith got one of her third goggles off the car. Hajime cut off one of Edith's feet and caused her death and 5 minutes. Two of us were killed. But hey, you got one, you got the race. You go. After the situation got down, these adults got to learn a step. Well, this, of course, are one character. Sometimes good, but also sometimes bad. For this case, it was bad. The following happened. Player 1. Choose Y or X, which you even think that was a good idea. If I killed people, then it was justified. But this was so war. We were all fine. Mostly because because of light, dance, and whatsoever. After they were good. Yeah, okay. I'm looking forward to this. Why would you explain the whole, wow, the military is so used to this, or are you talking like this? Like, I can tell Mr. Rock. I usually would tell you, because we understand that you understand that Mr. Rock and how women would. Now, well, as far as that's how war works. It's in his character. Oh, I'm turning him off there. For one, Levi is not a genocidal maniac. He generally tries his best to avoid unnecessary deaths. But even to this dude, to see characters as so one-dimensional that just being cold and tragic automatically makes them heartless psychopaths. But that's my favorite thing about these Edgelord stories. At a certain point, they become self-parody. These people are so obsessed with being perceived by others as too dark that they forget why dark storytelling is actually so powerful. Talking instead just to groups that they witness nothing mysterious, when in reality they're just annoying to a comical degree, plain and simple. It all comes down to either tastelessness or laziness, but most of the time it's a fan of dark fantasy that thinks simply being dark and brooding automatically makes them interesting so that they don't actually have to put in any work. They see characters like Frank Castle and Levi and think, well, okay, maybe if I just make his backstory a nonsensical mash of tragic events, it will make everyone think that my character is super cool that he refuses to cooperate with the party instead of just dead weight. Trust me, dude, it doesn't. It makes everyone praise before wanting to kick you out. Anyways, we still have a bit of story left to go, so we'll post. For the sake of my own sanity, I'll cut this interaction short. It was messy, it was draining, and boy did it kill the fun the entire campaign. Absolute total mood killer. We asked if he can tone down the war stuff and actually participate in the game, and everything would be cool. But he insisted. He would absolutely not put his foot down. It was absolutely mind numbing. As a group, we wrote in very polite and very professional way, stating how we think it would be best if he no longer participated in our game. Seeing as he didn't really participate as is, he got angry and continued to not talk to us whatsoever. With that, it marks one of my least favorite interactions with Mr. Guy. A word of advice, do not let a Mr. Guy walk all over you. And please, please, please take care of yourself and check in with your players and DM. If there are things in the that make you uncomfortable, do not be a Mr. Guy. And this ends yet another tale of problematic player behavior of the Edgelord variety. If you thought this was bad, definitely check out my video about the Edgelord to rule all Edgelords in this funny box. Till next time, I look in the corners of the So hey, grab your bedparents, insomnia, and brooding, and let's get right into these tales of ancient warriors. Locals. So, this story is about a guy that we will call Ancient King. Ancient username wasn't that big, and I will never know his full name. I've been playing D&D for years and years, and starting to pick up the end. Of course, that meant everyone started flocking around me to ask him to join a game. Everyone I DM for were friends, friends of friends, or family. My brother-in-law is a PTS for him and his friends, two boys I've known since they were kindergarten, who are basically also little brothers to me. They bring along an unreal thing. say, well, that's totally cool. I also have diagnosed anxiety disorder. Everything will be fine. He continued the pity party interviews and calls people out for taking things back, but not actually sending any messages. Saying we're all just gonna turn off the video. Generally just being really weird and antisocial, but we play a session. The session goes fine, nothing of note happens. Other than the fact that Edgy King is being very antisocial. It's Edgy King, the mutual friend, my brother and his two best friends, and my little sister, who is the youngest at 16. Another thing about my sister is that she's on the national team for the children's sport and has some rules about what she can and cannot post to social media. Why is this relevant? Well, the day after the session, Edgy King reveals that he has recorded the whole thing and posted it to YouTube without any prior knowledge or consent. I have to ask him to make a private YouTube, please not do these things in the future without everyone's explicit consent. He, at first, gets very defensive, saying that he's only doing this so that people can watch them later. But I can tell that eventually I was privating and not posting. He argues for a while longer, getting pretty aggressive with people before he turns around and makes an apologizing at this. Very, whoa, I didn't know you didn't want to be recorded without your consent. You posted on the social media. Whatever. That was strike two. Why is it always the worst possible people that think they would be the best podcasters ever? This is a question I can only answer one way. Terminal Dunning-Kruger effect, the classic phenomenon where the underqualified overestimate their abilities. In this case, the least powerful person imaginable thinks he should start a YouTube channel where he can broadcast his amazing personality and mysterious edginess. So prepare yourself, my friends. It's the true successor to Critical Role, a weird edgelord recording his table without their consent. We get 10K likes. We're about to hit strike three. So strap in. That game is about to get wild. Strike three happened before the next session could start, and it really got me upset. Edgy King messaged me out of the blue that I should pick out one of my brother's best friends, Glasses, because that's what I called him when he was in first grade, and got his first pair of glasses. He tells me that Glasses cheated in a different group that they were in, and the details he is providing are fuzzy at best. I told him I don't really know what happened at another table because one, I can't know the full situation, and two, because Glasses is basically a little brother to me. I'm not going to take it from someone I barely know and just kick him out of the game. If he cheats at my table, he will get his ass whooped, trust me, but I'm not going to kick him out for supposedly cheating at another table. Edgy King is absolutely livid about this. He tries to tell me how this is a grievous offense and that this man should be banned from D&D forever. On the side, I messaged Glasses and others getting their for this situation. And Glasses admits to me that one time he was going to go with the new king. He said he had made a mistake and misunderstood the rules, making him much more powerful, and was about to correct himself when Edgy King lost his shit. So he decided to dig his heels in for the while. I told him he's a shit server and an asshole who can't do that at my table, and he assured me he would. Not defending his behavior as he usually was at the end of this huge argument, but I was not about to take Edgy King's insistence that I kick out Glasses. Other people present also seemed to side with Glasses since he did at one time admit to being a mistake, but Edgy King still harassed him. It seemed like a messy, hours-long argument that I was not listening to most of. I tried to tell Edgy King that I would keep an eye on Glasses and shoot. I assured him that I know fighting like the back of my hand, and since he can't plug gold made on one, he won't be cheating in the game. But he was not having it. He wanted and I tried to play better. This is really fun, friends. Edgelord explodes into rage when Ultra lots of entertainment. Because I was playing a game with my friends, but there was a new guy who came in because he was one of my friend's brothers and he wanted to try and play a game with me. I'm going to call him Jay. When Jay came to play, he was wearing only red clothes. And when I tried to say hi, Jay just looked at her and was edgy when he wasn't. After that, I said, "Well, if you just try to flirt with him, because I said he was edgy, he just looked at me and took it to a very, very inventive one. Because I never saw him after that. Honestly, 10 out of 10, I would cringe any days next week. I was playing on this Westmarch style Discord server in a text-based group. The group I was in that included two players were heading into the underworld. We hadn't been given much of a briefing on what we were doing, so it was a kind of assumed that we were just exploring and exploring. As we began the game, as the producers were chatting with each other, we already knew each other and were expressing excitement about our adventure. There was also an ENPC standing down before. He was not part of our adventure and he was wearing a hood that covered his face. My character, being another cheerful rogue, greeted him and tried to join into the conversation, but the guy would say very little, barely acknowledging our existence, let alone identify himself or say why he was there. Finally, once we decided it was time to get this show on the road, we decided to head down into the underworld. When we did, the DM came in. You're all just gonna leave your guide behind? It's pretty risky going into the underdark without a guide.